Ever find yourself so deep in a late-night internet rabbit hole that the stories you're reading start to feel a little too real? Today, we're diving into the most unfiltered corners of 4chan for horror stories that are so unhinged and jaw-dropping, they'll leave you genuinely disturbed. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and let's get into it. There was a thread on here about hearing voices many years ago, and an actual schizo Chad turned up and shared their story. It still scares me. They were early 20s. They started hearing voices one day at home. Family and friends talking in the bathroom, someone downstairs, etc. One day they started talking to the voices because, fuck it, why not? Months later, told the voices to fuck off. You're not real. Voice replies, we know we're not real. What the f you gonna do? Voices start telling him to hurt people as he's walking down the street. Kick that baby. Kill your parents. Schizo Anon checks himself into hospital. Can hear the nurses planning to kill him in his sleep. We'll tie him down and put bubbles in his IV drip. Mwahaha. Doctor arrives and hands him some pills. 2 months later, wakes up in a bed with no memory after the doctor handed him the pills. Voices? Gone. Now takes pills every day. Warns Anons, if you hear voices, it ain't ghosts. Go to the fucking doctors. Still sends a shiver down my back. Okay, X. I was obsessed with Goatman / Skinwalker / mimicry stories for a while, but I haven't looked in a while, and then this happened to me last night, and now I literally cannot sleep or stop shitting my pants due to its proximity to my house. I'll try to green text as much as I can, but first, background. I am 21 and a college senior from CT. While I live in a semi-rural area, about 20 minutes to closest supermarket / fast food, I go to school in Washington, D.C., not the nice part either. The part where crackheads are a real thing, and cops are reassuring rather than troublesome. I've definitely seen some shit in my day. It would be good to mention here that I'm not some glandular freak, but I'm about 6'1" and 240, a lot of muscle, but Lord knows I could drop 15 pounds. I love to smoke pot, get drunk, and eat. Sue me. Being the good student that I am, I picked a real major, accounting. And I interned for a mid-sized PR firm doing accounting bitch work and getting paid $20 an hour. College is expensive as fuck though, so I deliver pizzas at night after the office closes. It's a cheap, drunk food kind of pizza place that has an absurdly large delivery radius and is around 20 minutes from my house, 5 minutes from the beach. My place is north of there, and we deliver probably another 15 minutes past my house. I'm actually typing this at work in between examining the fine print on our client contracts to ensure we are charging them every penny we can. Cheap bastards. So basically, the further north you go from the pizza place, the more rural it gets. I work until close, and this occurs around 9:45 p.m. Be me, in the back, folding pizza boxes like a good little corporate bitch. Counter girl comes back with a delivery slip. She tells me the customer sounded weird on the phone. Kind of like he was talking through a fan or through his hands, and that he was almost like gurgling. My DC experience instantly makes me think crackhead, although around here, it's way more likely to be some benzo freak or painkiller addict, automatically assuming some weird interaction will occur. Look at address, see it as in kind of bumblefuck. I'm a little mad because I don't want to drive that far, but fuck it, it's the weirdest ticket I've ever seen. Guy ordered a large pizza with anchovies, ground beef, ham, sausage, pepperoni, etc. Literally $15 worth of extras. I go ask the counter girl if it's right. She says she thinks so. She couldn't really make it out though, so she said she did her best. She's like 16, so I cut her some slack, assume she was daydreaming, and call the number back. Phone rings 5, 10, 20, 30 times. No answer. Hang up. Call again. Phone goes right to, the number you have dialed does not have a voicemail box that has been set up yet. Goodbye. Okay then. Manager decides to just make the pizza as ordered and proceed from there. Deliver a pizza to a hilariously obese and blackout drunk couple. Invited me in for drinks, but I don't drink or smoke when I work. Hope someone else took weird pizza. Surprise! No one did. It's my turn. Begrudgingly take the pizza and get in my car. Enter address into phone. It's on a side street adjacent to a park. Locals call open space, which despite the name is about 500 acres of straight woods. It's about 25 minutes away, basically the edge of our range. Put on some dubstep, judge me, and crank my turbo Subi, judge me more. Out to this road. If you're not from a rural area, this can be hard to explain. Winter in the woods is scary. There is never a single sound. Ever. Unless there's something larger than a cat walking around, it's you and dead silence. Finally get to address. There are a few houses on the street, but they sit on probably 5 acres, so they are spaced out a fair amount. Looking for number 1134. I pass a 1130, then a long stretch of nothing. Then a 1144. I just want to get this over with and get the next delivery without getting stabbed by some pillhead over a pizza. Call the number. Rings, stops ringing. There's no sound, but instead, kind of like a buzzing or a humming. It's hooked up to my car stereo, and it's getting louder and louder until I just hang up because I don't want it to ruin my speakers. Windows are fogging up because at this point, I'm pulled over between those 2 houses. Right when I roll the windows down, I am overcome by the odor of decaying trash, like driving through Newark, New Jersey. Gross. So I put the car in first, and I start pulling towards the next house at the end of the driveway. There's a stanchion with a light on top. Gonna pull into this house and knock and ask if maybe they gave the wrong number over the phone. Makes sense for a pillhead. I'm probably 100 feet away when I see someone step out of the darkness into the light at the bottom of the driveway. Good, it's the that ordered. Expecting this guy to be all over the place, leaning over and being up guy. Isn't that fucked? Stop the car about 10 feet from him. Black coat that looks 3 times too big for him, even though he's probably got 5 inches on me. Don't look at him at first. Getting pizza out of car and getting ticket and change as I talk. Hey sir, sorry about the wait and the calls. This is pretty far. No response. Realize I should be watching him, considering the signs. The smell is still pretty pungent, but I know it's not trash day. I get the pizza on the roof of my car. He is standing under the light on the opposite side of my car, so I got out of my driver's seat and went to driver rear to get pizza. Put pizza on roof of driver rear. Guy is probably 10 feet away from passenger rear. I finally pay enough attention to get a good look at him. Giant, tall, no shoes, ripped up jeans, stains everywhere. Big jacket, as mentioned. Look at his face. Sunken eyes. Can't even see them with the light. Getting real sketched out, cause guy hasn't moved or said a word. Stop the process and just stare at the guy. He's staring right at me with those freaky f***ing eyes. His head is sort of bobbing side to side, but not in any fluid sense at all. Kind of like a car door, like how it stops at halfway open, then you give it another shove and it stops at all the way open. I watch his head do this in no real pattern for probably 10 seconds, starting to get really uneasy. Between the stench and the head thing, and the eyes, and the not f***ing answering, I stand frozen, and so does he. Without breaking eye contact, I take my phone out of my pocket and hold it level with the roof, so I can look at the guy and my phone at the same time. Go to recent calls. Call the number for the guy, call it. Phone starts ringing, but I hear no phone anywhere. Then, out of the quiet of the woods, I hear faintly, so faintly, a f***ing cell phone ringing back in there, maybe 50 or 100 yards away. This is my kicking myself for not getting my CC yet. This is me almost shitting myself. The guy's just standing there, still doing the head thing, but I swear I see that smile. Finally, get the courage to speak. Can you please come get this? Also, I think you may have dropped your phone when you were hiding a body or whatever in the woods. Nervously laugh, still thinking maybe this guy dug too deep into the prescription bottle, or found some PCP or some shit. I see his mouth open, head still bobbing, feet planted to ground. He makes sort of a low, guttural, quick grunt, then a high grunt, then a low grunt. They are sort of soft. Kinda like someone clearing their throat. I've shut the rear passenger door at this point, and I'm ready to book it to the driver's seat if I got to. Just as I go to call that phone again, I hear words. The phone's not mine. The pause between the and phone's not was way too long. Phone's not literally sounded like one word. Mine came off an octave higher. My mind is DEFCON 5, like just full panic attack, knees are weak, I'm literally about to peace out. I push the pizza to the far side of the roof, away from me. Finally muster out, "Sir, you're freaking me the fuck out. I have a .45 and less than $20 on me. Please come take this so I can leave." When I say this, the head bobbing stops. His eyes are dark and burning a hole through my skull. Opens his mouth again. It was his. What? I say, stunned. It was his. The phone was his. The guy comes towards the car. Not a step, but like one huge muscle spasm that propels him forward. The phone was his, he repeats. I'm on the verge of tears at this point. Standing next to open driver's side, pizza is on roof, over passenger rear door. Guy jerk jumps once, closer to the car. The phone is not his anymore. I blubber wordless, and then, gathering man balls, I scream. I'm gonna call the fucking cops and blow your fucking drug addict head off if you don't get the fuck out of here. I see this fucker smile. This creepy fucking smile. And without moving his mouth, I hear him say in a completely different voice, a voice I've never heard before. Go away. Stop following me. I will call the police. In one big jerky motion, the thing reaches forward, takes the pizza off the top of the car, and places a couple round things that I later identify as quarters on the roof, surrounded by dark liquid that spreads over the roof. I don't even think, just get in the car and peel out down the road. Leave the hot sleeve for the pizza. Leave the shit on the roof. Don't even close the door all the way. I go down the road at about 80 for a quarter mile, then pull a U-turn, cause I don't want to get even more lost with this psycho here. I whip down the road past the place where he was. Nothing. Finally get to the end of the road. There's a stop sign to merge with the main road. Look right to make sure it's clear. Look left. This thing's face is 12 inches from my own when I turn. Tactically shit myself, peel down the road. Finally make it back to pizza place, shaking like bloody hell. Smoke a joint just to calm me down, which I never do when I'm working. I walk in the front door of pizza place. Hey Anon, that guy at the open space house just called back. He said you forgot some food, but he only ordered the pizza, right? He said, come back, IDK. I start crying, look at my phone, which had been thrown through the car with my driving. 14 fucking missed calls from that number. Literally in tears. All the voicemails are empty, except the last one. All I can hear is ragged breathing and those low gruntings. Fucking bawling my eyes out in front of this hot-ass counter girl, and I don't even give a fuck. Sit for 10 minutes and calm down. Remember the change on the roof. Go out to car and turn on flashlight. The roof of my car was covered in the most viscous, weird liquid, but it smells like blood, and I throw up immediately in the panel gap between my trunk and the end of my rear window. I find the quarters covered in the same maple syrup thick goop blood shit, and stuck to it are soft little chunks of what I can only imagine is tissue. Go to open my car, and my blood turns to fucking ice. There is a single line of blood going from the front quarter panel to the driver's side door. The fucking thing tried to open my motherfucking door when it was next to me at the stop sign. Tactically cry and poop my pants more. I go back in, tell counter girl to try and call the number again. She tries over and over and over, but the phone goes right to voicemail. Next morning, I give the number to my uncle, who is a police captain a few towns over. Says the number is from a burner phone, paid in cash, basically untraceable, and it appeared to be off. Now, I sleep with the lights on now. I'll be lurking for comments or suggestions or something, like, is this fucker gonna stalk me and kill me or call me again? I'm fucking terrified. I like to believe creepy green texts are elaborate works of fiction. It's more comforting than accepting them all as true. But I see my own account, something I know happened and that now exists as a green text. And it makes me wonder how many of the rest are also true. I agree people should be aware and armed. The total obliviousness people seem to have is astounding. Here's fresh green text, I guess. Go for a hike up a mountain with some girls. Literally. You park, cross the highway, and go up the mountain. 3,000 feet. No trees, so you can see your car all the way up and down. Bully the girls into going to the top. Coming down the mountainside, see a van has parked down there, closer to the bottom. Now, van's still there. Nobody's come up the trail. 5 minutes from getting back to the car. 2 men are now leaning against the van, watching us. I stay at the back of the pack as the girls cross the highway. Jacket back and hand on pistol. Full eye contact with the rough-looking Russian and his Chinaman buddy as they smoke. Girls say hi to the guys and chit-chat about whatever as they take their stuff off and get in the car. Get in. Once the girls are in and we go, comment on how sketch the guys are. Girls all go, "What do you mean?" Dudes sat in an idling, windowless van parked by the car they had to return to in the middle of the Alaskan wilderness, and waited 2 hours for the girls and I to come down the mountain. This set off 0 alarm bells for them. I did not pursue any of those girls. Paranoia is a mandatory trait for me, it turns out. That way, I don't have to worry so much. One of them walked into a moose on another hike. For fuck's sake, if people can't clue in to stupid, obvious predatory behavior, how are they avoid Malachites in kitted out foresters? It's all fucked. First time posting this story. Brother's friend on the outs with parents. He's about 18. One night, it's too much, and he bails. Takes a tent to go sleep in the park nearby. Usually, he'd actually come to visit my brother in our house if this type of thing happened. He didn't this time, for some reason. Not sure why. I said tent, but it was actually this weird all-environ sleeping bag thing that you zipped all the way up and would literally protect you in knee-deep snow. Guy was pretty weird and would sleep outside out of choice in his garden many nights. He's now off fighting for insect rights or some shit. Anyway, he's asleep in this park, my small country's national park, and he feels something spraying onto his sleeping bag. He wakes up and zips down and sees a vagrant dude pissing on his sleeping bag. Obviously scared as shit and must make a noise because the guy fucks off. Starts packing up to go as he's obviously a bit disturbed, but that's when he notices the smell. The guy wasn't pissing on him at all. It's actually lighter fluid / white spirits. Realizes he was prompt 30 seconds from being burned alive by some randomer in the park. So yeah, not hugely supernatural, but it always stuck with me as a horrifying story. A guy was later caught in that same park for burning a homeless dude alive, and I can only imagine it was the same guy. Never spoke to my bro's friend about it though, and don't know if he told the cops or anything, although he should have if he didn't. Live off deep in the holler, drive out to one of my backwoods spots to go camping. 3 hours into 5-hour hike before I reach my camping spot. Nice day, fresh air, clear skies, occasional animal noises in the distance. Getting that oneness feel with nature. Here's some rustling up a hill off the path I'm treading. It's a f***ing dude. He's stumbling down the hill. He's walking funny, like a puppet on strings walk. Very weird looking. My memory kicks in. There were no other cars parked in the offshoot that leads to the forest trail I'm treading. We're on the edge of f***ing nowhere. There's nothing out there for hundreds of miles from the direction he came from. It's just f***ing forests. That's when he started to laugh and called out, "Hello there!" That's when I unholstered my gun. This dude stumbles onto the trail. He has a real jovial demeanor about him. I rack the slide. Gen 1 S and WM and P. No safety. He waves as he walks towards me on the trail. I aim at this guy and yell, "That's close enough!" The dude is completely unfazed with me pointing a gun at him. He just keeps laughing and waving. Weird-ass gait to his walk. Almost serpentine swivel to his legs, but his body didn't move right, like puppet strings were moving him. It was uncanny as fuck. I've heard enough stories about things in the woods to know how this shit goes down. I will f***ing kill you. I am not f***ing around. I say this really fast and loud. If there is any semblance of sanity in this creature, I want them to know they will soon be ventilated. Undeterred, he keeps wiggle walking towards me. This is after I've pointed a gun at him and threatened to shoot this motherfucker. I can clearly discern his facial features. He looked normal enough. You'd be forgiven for mistaking him for human for sure if it wasn't for that weird-ass walk. He was wearing a sweater and jeans. Just a regular dude by any other account. Said dude is less than 10 meters away at this point, and he continues with the laugh and disjointed conversation starters. "It's nice to meet ya." Internal monologue goes, "F it," and I dump 5 or 6 rounds of .40 into this guy. I pause for a moment because he stops walking after those shots. I think I hit him. He wasn't bleeding though. He didn't scream or wince or nothing. He just stood there. Then he falls. He settles in an awkward position, like his joints and bones aren't connected right. It's like someone put human together without knowing how skeletal structure works. Swear to God, Crinkle Man, contorted into a mess of shapes on the trail floor, zipped off like a f***ing bird and disappears into the underbrush. I hear a rapid pitter-patter of steps that gradually fade into the fucking woods with twigs and branches snapping as Crinkle Man gets further away. I noped out of there hard. It was already 2:30, and by 4:30 it's gonna be getting dark in the forest, or darker than I'd feel comfortable being with Crinkle Man out there. On the spot, I dumped my tent, sleeping bag, and everything I was okay just leaving there, because I needed to turn a 3-hour hike into 1 hour and 30-minute hike. There was no fucking way I was going to get caught in the forest after dark with fucking Crinkle Man wiggle walking up to my ass. Fuck that. When I was 22, I was walking back from work when suddenly a hobo fast walks straight at me, pulls me into a bear hug, and said, "You're going to die tonight if you make the wrong move." I was a bit shaken because I thought he was trying to stab me, but kind of forgot about it because I was on the way to a friend's birthday at a local pub. Anyways, 7 hours later, I'm completely sloshed along with my friends, and we exit the pub around closing time. We get to the subway, and some 15-year-old kid starts getting in my friend's face, obviously trying to start a fight. I have the impulse to just trip him over from behind so we can move on, but get nauseous from the drinks and don't. After a few minutes of this, he gives up and leaves. I go home and try to forget about an unpleasant ending to a fun night out. The Monday following this, I'm having lunch with my boss, and he starts going off on some rant about immigrants ruining the country. I'm half listening until he mentions someone getting stabbed to death near the pub I was at. According to the lorry driver that comes for breakfast at the cafe I worked at, some poor guy was biking home and got spat at by some kid at a stoplight. He got off his bike to see what the fuck that was about, and 5 other guys popped out to back the kid up. There was a fight, and he got stabbed a few times in the wrong spot, died on the pavement like a dog. The driver heard about it because his son is married to the daughter of a local policeman, who said some of the guys had been caught on surveillance cams. I have absolute zero proof, but I am convinced that was the same kid, since it was the same subway entrance like 100 meters from where it happened, and it was the same night. Weirdest coincidence that ever happened to me. Hello there. It's been a minute since I last posted. To help clear things up, I'm the guy who posted about shadow people / ghosts creeping around my basement. Since my last post in January, a few more things have happened. I'll try my best to green text it. Be me. Living with my fiance Red and I have the house to ourselves due to her parents being out of town. Since her parents are gone, we close their door so the cats and dogs don't go in and mess stuff up. We head downstairs to our room, watch some YouTube slop, and play the block game. It's a Saturday night, so we stay up until 2 o'clock Sunday morning. Decide to call it a night around that time. We lay in bed, just chatting away, until we inevitably close our eyes for the night. After around 5 minutes of talk, we clearly hear someone walking and moving things upstairs. Stomp, 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 stomp. Do you fucking hear that? Red asks me in a barely audible whisper. Yeah, it sounds like someone in your parents' room. I could tell that whoever was upstairs was walking by her parents' bed. Their bed was directly above ours, and their door was above our door too. So I knew that the cats / dogs were not scratching or banging on it. Well, what are you gonna do? Red whisper yelled. If it's the ghost, we'll just ignore it. But what if it is someone who did break in? I sighed and turned around. From behind our bed, I pulled out my AKM, loaded a few rounds into the mag, and walked to the door. Beside the bed, I left my .357 Magnum for her. I opened it all the way, and due to our carpet, it stops it from swaying. I turn back to Red and tell her that if anyone comes down that isn't me, to shoot and call for me. I leave the door open and walk up the stairs. As I go up, I see that the dogs are asleep outside, and 3 of the 4 cats are outside. The door to her parents' bedroom was also still shut, so realistically, there was no way an animal was inside of the room bumping around. Another thing to add is that the door to her parents' room is just a hair too large for its frame, making opening and shutting it a loud ordeal. I slam open the door, shine my flash around for a quick second, and turn on the lights. Nothing. I check the windows, closets, bathroom, underbed, and the corners of the room. Nothing was in that room. I walk around the house, clearing rooms and sweeping halls. Nothing. The only cat that was inside was asleep on one of the kitchen chairs, and he is a pretty chill cat. I go back downstairs and see Red hiding under the blankets. What's wrong? Why are you hiding? When you started walking up the stairs, I stared at the door to see if someone was coming down. As I was looking, I saw the door start to close. I thought it was just because it was dark in the room and I didn't have my glasses on, but I heard the door scrape across the carpet, like someone was pulling it shut. I sat my rifle down and got back in bed. I got out one of my rosaries and began to pray with her. It was an olive tree rosary that my deacon had gotten in Israel on his pilgrimage, that he and a priest had blessed, so I figured it had a little more anti-demon juice in it, haha. It's been a week since this all went down, and the only things to happen have been that thing in the same room as us will move a bit, and I will see shadow people out of the corner of my eye. Even as I wrote this, I've seen a couple dart back and forth. This is all for now, and I will come back to update you all if anything else happens. Be me, age 10, almost 11. Have a bad dream one night. Dream is of some sort of family gathering. Everything seems normal at first. Ugly creatures start to appear among guests without explanation. Skinless human form with insect-like features. Wet with secretions. Creatures have strained breathing, as if constantly choking on mucus. Seem to fit in with the rest of the guests. No one notices. I, however, am terrified beyond belief. Frantically try to call attention to the creatures. Everybody happy, chatting, smiling. It's as if no one can hear me. I cry so fucking hard. Every so often, creatures make sickening physical contact with me, rub all over different parts of my body with their gross mandibles and hairy appendages, arms, legs, back. The feeling is very visceral, very lucid. Strange thing is, I know I'm in a dream, but I feel trapped inside it, as if I wasn't allowed to wake up. Feel myself in my body, wet, my bed, can't wake up. Physical body completely paralyzed, as if being held down by an oppressive weight. Can't find parents. In my dream, I'm screaming and crying, but no one can hear me, as if I'm the only one that can hear my own voice. Suddenly, one of the insect creatures takes a special notice of me, looks at me with fierce, animal-like anger. Thing doesn't speak, just clicking and buzzing noises, but I can somehow understand. It says something about, if I expose their existence, then this is the end of me. Threaten to rip me to shreds if I continue to protest. All of the insect creatures laugh at me as I try to compose myself, as if nothing is wrong, continue to torment me with their bristly appendages, and laugh. Dream continues. I am in mental anguish. Suddenly, out the corner of my vision, I see a man in a clown costume. Clown man looks very, very sad. Not fearful. Looking for some reason, the clown man is just very sad. I try not to garner his attention. I just try to act normal. Can somehow feel that the clown man is looking at me. I slowly turn, and there he is, staring, with his sad face somehow able to send him a telepathic message that everything will be okay. Clown man in my dream looks up slowly at me and gives the biggest, warmest smile. Clown man's smile actually gives me comfort, despite the horrifying insect creatures invading the gathering. As one of the insect creatures is fondling me, the clown man approaches, grabs the insect creature, and tells it to leave me alone. Something about, he's not yours, you can't have him. The insect creatures hiss and start to just kind of vanish. The clown man looks at me and smiles. I return the smile. Wake up at that very instant, feeling a great deal of joy in my heart, despite the horrific scene that played out. Realized I'm covered in sweat and pee. Quietly get up. Still early in the morning, sun not up yet. Go shower and change my clothes. Parents wake up. Decide to tell my parents about my dream. Parents console me and give me praise for being honest about peeing the bed. Time goes on, unfortunately. Have this same exact dream at least 3 more times. Same exact setup, same creatures, same sleep paralysis, same clown man comes to save me. Wake up relieved. Parents starting to worry. Think I'm being molested by someone. Not sure who though, I don't remember ever being molested. Start going to see a counselor. Explain to them my dreams feel very uncomfortable. Feel like I'm being treated like a retard or something. People being overly protective of me now. Assuming I'm a victim of sexual abuse. Feel ashamed and embarrassed. Start to not want to go anywhere. One night, dream plays out the same as usual, but once the clown man helps me, he says something different this time. Cryptic message says, I have a gift. Says the only reason the insect creatures want me is because I frighten them. Says I can't wait to meet you. See you soon, Anon. Wake up feeling optimistic. Start to feel better about myself from then. More confidence. Parents decide to end counseling for the time being. Fast forward, later that year. Time for my 11th birthday party. Birthday party, planned as a family gathering. Friend and family arrive after. A while of festivities start to have a dreadful feeling of deja vu. Realize that the setting is playing out exactly like it had in my dreams. Suddenly overwhelmed with terror that insect creatures might show up in real life. At that very moment, I see a figure that is out of place among the crowd. It's the clown man from my dreams. Or at least a man my parents hired to be my birthday clown. I make brief eye contact with him. He returns the same, big, warm smile from my dream. Only this time, it's very creepy because, how? Sit petrified in fear and confusion as he approaches. Never says a word, just smiles down at me. I do my best to keep my composure, but I am genuinely questioning reality at this moment. Party goes on. I start to loosen up, but still can't quite recover from seeing the clown man from my dreams in real life. Party winds down, guests begin to leave. Parents ask me if I enjoyed the party. As I'm starting to formulate my answer, they turn and introduce the clown man. Turns out he's a children's pastor from a church in a completely different state. Also a pediatric psychologist. He's also completely deaf and mute, and has a teletype pager that people type into to communicate with him. Heard my dream story from one of his colleges at a conference and decided to come cheer me up. Smiles at me and waves goodbye. Never see him again after that day. Bad dreams stop happening, and I mellow out as I enter my teens. Fast forward several years later. Have another weird dream. House is empty. I am alone. Go outside. No one around. As if I am alone on Earth, by myself and no one else. Very ominous feeling of loneliness. Suddenly, receive a telepathic message. Behind you. It's the clown man. He looks very, very sad. I have to go, anon, but remember your gift. Turns and walks away down the road. Wake up with a heavy heart, but don't read more into it because horny teenager hanging at friend's house later that day. Get a message from my parents. Clown man from my 11th birthday party has died due to chronic illness. Parents had never talked about him since my party until that day.